Don't think for a moment I'm over the hill, 'cause I am older, or because I've been ill. Life has been filled with bumps in the road, but I've learned how to face them and carry that load.
This program will help you create a fulfilling elderhood plan. To create a fulfilling elderhood plan, we need to be able to find purpose and meaning, identifying those things that bring us a sense of joy and accomplishment, using talents, gifts, and experiences we have gotten through the years. Find meaningful ways to give back and to share our wisdom and experience in selfless ways that can help others, understanding also that as we give to others, we receive as well. Continue learning and growing ourselves in ways that interest and engage us, and continue to equip us to know the joy of making a positive difference. Actively maintain relationships with friends, family, and community groups with people who share common interests, all of us growing and benefiting in the process. Take care of our physical health, but if possible, don't let that become our primary life's focus, but rather what we do to stay in the game. Find ways that nurture our spirit from regular spiritual practices, quiet time in nature, community services, or other ways to experience the joy or going deeper and finding something more.
It is interesting to note that taking care of your psychological and spiritual health actually serves to protect your physical health. Researchers in psychobiology report that people with a positive, thankful outlook are much more likely to have good health, take care of themselves, be protected against disease, and survive serious illnesses. People with a sense of purpose and commitment to helping others have been found to live longer and healthier lives, have better immune system protection, be more likely to recover from cancer, have less risk of high blood pressure or heart disease, and have fewer chronic headaches. People with a strong sense of social support around them have been found to live longer, have stronger immune protection against illness, have less risk of cancer, less risk of ulcers, and less risk of heart disease. Empowering your own elderhood by focusing a plan on those things that actually matter most will help assure you the longest, healthiest, and happiest future. But you are going to have to lead the effort to assure your own plan is in place. Society has created the image of elderhood as old age characterized by a deteriorating physical plant. Politicians have depicted older people as over the hill and needing to get out of the way of society. Just go home and take a nap. Greeting cards and late night, comedians make jokes about being over the hill. They are missing the fact that elders are the most experienced members of our society, with a unique ability to integrate experience, past history, and present circumstances to provide wise analysis and good counsel for the future. Unfortunately, too many of the resources, services, and ads that dominate the marketplace largely depict elders as over the hill, needing the newest medication, in-home care, or a place for mom. Social psychological researchers report that today many members of the younger generation report they have nothing to believe in. They have lost faith in anything transcendent, no trust in each other, a promising future, or higher spiritual connections. They have lost a sense of meaning for their lives. Reportedly, many would like to simply see everything fall apart because it appears to have no value to them. But they also have no plan for what happens next. As the elders, the wisdom keepers of our society, our role is more important than we may realize. As we work to reclaim an empowered elderhood, we can make a difference both for ourselves and for others, as well as the future of our society. A social media post told the story of Morris. It demonstrates the vital way claiming elder empowerment can use the wisdom and experience of elderhood to change life for the better for all of us.
My name is Morris. I'm 78, live alone since my Edna passed away 5 years back. Every Tuesday, I catch the 10:15 bus to the library. Same seat, same walk. For years it was quiet, just me, the pigeons, and that old green bench at the Oak Street stop. Then last winter, I started noticing the kids, not playing, not laughing, just sitting. heads down and fingers flying over phones, even in the rain. But on Tuesday, a girl in a purple backpack sat hunched. Her shoulders were shaking. Not crying, just empty. Like the bench swallowed her up whole. Oh, made my chest hurt. I remembered my grandson, Liam, before he got that scholarship. Same look. It's like the world forgot he existed. I went home restless. Edna always said, "Morris, you fix what is broken." But what's broken here? Phones? No. Hearts. So the next morning I dug out my grandson's old tablet. Spent 3 shaky hours learning QR codes. Turns out YouTube tutorials are for younger eyes. I printed simple signs. Scan me. Tell me your story. I'm listening. Taped them to the bench corners. Used duct tape. Edna's favorite fix-all. First week, nothing. Kid walked past like the signs were trash. Mrs. Gable from 42 scoffed. "That's foolishness, Morris. They want screens, not old men." Maybe she was right. Then a miracle. A boy, maybe 12, scanned it. He sat there 20 minutes typing. Later, I checked the shared Google Doc account. I set one up. Edna would have laughed. His words were, "My dad's sick. My mom works nights. I'm scared." But I drew a dragon that breathes glitter. It's in my pocket. My hand shook. I bought glitter glue and left it under the bench with a note for the dragon artist. "Keep shining, Morris, the bench friend." Next day, a folded paper airplane landed right beside me. Inside, a glittery dragon. And thanks, Dad's smiling today. Well, word spread. Kids started coming early for the bus, scanning and typing. A girl wrote, "Bullies call me Robot because I love coding. But robots don't feel sad, right?" I left a book by Ada Lovelace, Girl Who Dreamed in Code. She left cookies next week. She said robots eat sugar too. Well, it wasn't perfect. Rain washed away signs. Some ignored it. But slowly, the bench changed. Kids sat together, talking. A teen scanned and wrote, "I'm failing math, but I'm too ashamed to ask." 2 girls saw it, messaged him, "We'll help. Meet us here Saturday." They did, and now they tutor 3 kids a week. Then came the cold snap. I slipped on ice and broke my hip. 2 weeks in the hospital. Felt useless. The day I got home, I shuffled to the bus stop and stopped dead. The bench was covered, not in trash, but in notes and drawings and tiny gifts. A knitted coaster for your tea, a Lego robot from the coding club, a photo, kids holding a sign that said, "Morris's Bench, we see you." Mrs. Gable was there hammering a new sign to the post. "Well, it took you long enough to heal," she grumbled, but her eyes were wet. We added a real mailbox for stories too long for phones. Well, now, 12 bus stops in town have listening benches. They're run by teens and retirees, even grumpy postmen. No apps, no donations, just space to be heard. Yesterday, the glitter dragon boy, now 14, helped me plant marigolds in a pot by the bench. You taught us, he said, patting the soil, that loneliness is the only thing that really needs fixing. Wow. Think of Edna. She'd say I fixed the bench, but the truth, those kids fixed me. They reminded me that broken hearts don't need grand gestures, just a safe place to whisper, I'm here, and someone willing to say back, I hear you. You know, we're not waiting for buses anymore. We're waiting for each other. And that's how the world gets warmer, one scanned story at a time.
It is possible to find yourself by losing yourself in service to others. That was true of Morris, and it is true of all of us. We have an opportunity to reclaim the power of elderhood, to make the most of our lives, to reclaim our purpose, and to change the world in positive ways for others. This opportunity is what reclaiming elderhood is all about. We will go into more depth in the next episode, but for now, take some quiet time and ask yourself the following questions. What gives my life sense of meaning and purpose? What gives me a sense of accomplishment? What is something I know about or can do that would help others? How would I like to give back in some way? How might I share my wisdom and experience with others in a useful way? What are the social connections that are important in my life? How do I carry out the spiritual practices that are meaningful to me? What do I do to maintain a positive attitude and count my blessings? What do I want to do to nurture my physical health?
When you have pondered all of these questions, select around 8 key things you have identified as the foundation for giving your life meaning. Those will be your starting point. These are the components you must be sure undergird all you are about to do with your life and what you want to build your elderhood around. Find pictures that reflect these concepts. You are going to use them to create a vision board for your own empowered elderhood. The vision board will serve as a kind of plumb line and will guide you in staying on track for the future you want. For example, here's Marilyn's story. Marilyn is 82 years old and is passionate about the need to help the homeless in her community. She has learned that homelessness could happen to anyone with limited financial resources who lost their job or had an illness or mental health issues. She and her husband, Hal, volunteered weekly at the soup kitchen, preparing and serving the midday meal and encouraging those who came to eat. Marilyn also served on the Mayor's Commission on the Homeless, looking for new strategies for the community. Marilyn and Hal have a busy son and daughter-in-law who live about an hour away, as well as a granddaughter who lives on the East Coast. Marilyn has had an ongoing problem with her vision that caused the loss of her peripheral vision, so she can no longer drive. With Hal's help, though, they shared household chores and their life was full. Then, unexpectedly, Hal had a sudden massive heart attack and died. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion about what Marilyn needed to do, from moving in with her son to considering assisted living or even a nursing home. A friend was merciless about all that Marilyn wouldn't be able to do because of her vision disorder. Fortunately, Marilyn knew she had to take charge of her own elderhood. Losing Hal was a tough blow, but she couldn't allow it to result in her losing her own life as well. She started trying to determine her path by asking the questions. What gives my life sense of meaning and purpose? What gives me a sense of accomplishment? What is something I know about or can do that would help others? How would I like to give back in some way? How might I share my wisdom and experience with others in a useful way? What are the social connections that are important in my life? How do I carry out the spiritual practices that are meaningful to me? What do I do to maintain a positive attitude and count my blessings? What do I want to do to nurture my physical health? Marilyn created a vision board to help her capture the elderhood she wanted to try to be sure was in place. Her vision board showed that what mattered to her was caring for her roses, enjoying being in her yard, and sharing the flowers with others. Spending loving time with her son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter, laughing, playing games, eating, and enjoying each other. Time spent with her golden retriever, Rusty. working to improve the plight of the homeless, helping them directly and helping plan for the community's strategies, and educating others about homelessness, baking and thoroughly enjoying her recently renovated kitchen. The friendships from the senior center at church and the people working with the homeless community and the teaching of Pastor Dale, a desire to learn to play the keyboard and to become fluent in Spanish. Marilyn realized she would thrive by continuing the things that mattered to her in some form. Because she would no longer have Hal to share the plan with, she was going to need some new strategies. It was important to be systematic in identifying where she would actually have to have some help and ways she could meet the need, instead of jumping to accept the strategies others were sure would be right for her. She added to her vision board words of encouragement. "You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh. "Whether you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right." Henry Ford. "Believe you can and you're halfway there." Theodore Roosevelt. Marilyn was beginning to reclaim her elderhood, and she definitely was not over the hill.
Sharing my life in memories that have stayed, of times I was lost but discovered the way. I have power to reclaim all my dreams. I have power far more than it seems. Power to take what is broken and fulfill all the dreams that I've spoken.